Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
I'm loving it.
I'm loving it. Oh.
Welcome, folks.
We can't. I guess we could probably slide that McDonald's theme song somewhere in that bass line and just hide it enough that McDonald's might not sue us.
Oh God. Folks, it's a monument here. It's a shame we can't be together to record this one, but episode 100 of Matinee Edition.
My, it is the culmination of more than 100 episodes worth of sitting down and talking.
We're probably at like 107 in terms of, or maybe like 115 by how many we've lost along the way.
That might be. The lost episodes are a mythical thing, but
yeah,
here and now lies the triple digit status 100. My God.
Part of me really wanted us to go back through the episodes and do like a best of, like edit, but that would take too long.
That would be wild.
Neither of us have the time to do something like that. We're not going to pay for this. This is out of sheer love.
This is dedication to corn dogs and entertainment alike.
Should we start just reminiscing, looking back at when I was a mere child, having been freshly hired at Batdorf and Bronson?
It was a moment, man. I think like when we first really like met, I for sure, I don't know, I was in a different place, I'd say. I was a bit of a loose cannon, couch
surfing, coming to work in sunglasses indoors.
Yeah, I was definitely, as I said to somebody else today, I was more of a drunk back then. But what was like always fun was like coming to work and like getting to fucking basically just hang with you.
Yeah.
And then that's really what kind of bled into like,
dude, I remember the first time I have a genuine memory of the first time we geeked out, and I was like, "You like comics, man?" And you went, "Fuck yeah!"
It's always comics, man. It's always comics. Like that's
I think that day it was in the midst of the Secret Empire run in like 2018, and I was 2017 maybe. I was super down with it, and I just wanted to talk with somebody about it, and that was it, I believe,
dude. And to be honest, Secret Empire holds up. I don't know about this.
It holds up good.
No, it's solid. Yeah, it's solid still. But no, it is. It's like it's cool that like, and this is kind of a theme for like a lot of old heart shit. It's just it spawns from your genuine, authentic like love of something, right? Like you're just like, I have all this want to like spill over and talk about this, or like or like nerd out about it. And
you put it pretty well when talking about people's responses to Under Further Review, and this is something that I've noticed even with my friends who have staunchly defended my taste in music. Said that even when somebody's getting ripped apart, it's in good fun. Everybody's there because there's a mutual love for one another and what they're talking about.
Yeah, exactly, man. And like it'll be really cool in the long run, I think, to be able to, and this goes for for us with this show, and like the 100 episodes that have been up and are out there for people, like these whole things that we're building and we're creating constantly with this, as Dusty put it, old heart cinematic universe. Like it'll be this really cool, I'm really hoping that it'll be this awesome testament to just like friendship and like the things that we all fucking loved and enjoyed when we were younger older and going through the ages as we continue. It's just I don't know, for me it's a fucking special thing that we do here.
There it is. I'll end our little moment of reminiscing with this.
Yeah, I got a single tear coming down my eye right now.
Single tear. It was that was actually a very heartfelt, beautiful thing that you just said. But what I get from this is we started a podcast before it was cool. Our coworkers laughed at us.
It's true.
They thought it was stupid.
Everybody thought it was dumb. They're like, what do you do?
Nowadays, people fuck around and joke about look at all these white dudes making podcasts.
Dude, we're here.
We're here and we've been here.
It's the truth. And it's like, it's funny to like, it's like one of my favorite things is to like have somebody who just thinks it's not like a thing, like a thing we do or something, like seriously, and then like to try and rope them in and then be like, this is what recording is like. It's like this is like, I don't know, it's a thing. Like I've tried to convince some folks to hop behind the mic and like do things, and it's not for everybody, and so it does take like a certain personality to be able to like sit down and just be like, I am gonna say these things, and like whether they get thrown back in my face or not, they're out there.
I mean, I feel like we're being relatively inoffensive here.
Oh,
I mean,
for
like,
sure.
You see some of those clips of those like alpha male podcasts. And they're fucking terrible.
Yeah, my older brother actually, he what's his handle? Big Bad Bug. He recently.
That's a great handle.
Dude, he supports our podcast down in Denver and in Colorado.
Hey.
He every now and then he'll like repost something that we post up, and he's like always listening. But recently he like posted something and said like, what was the phrasing? It was like semi-vulgar nerds like talk about and I was like, that's kind of perfect. Like we don't go full vulgar all the time, but like, well, I'd say like, you got to expect some fuckery at least.
There's a little bit of piss and vinegar in our takes.
Oh, sometimes it gets in,
Oh yeah.
But
so, let's get to it. The people are here for Matinee Edition. But we're breaking from tradition. No gaming minute because nothing happened this week.
Fair enough. But that's fine, because we shockingly have some like a few like DC options.
What is a greater gift to Matinee Edition to celebrate 100 episodes than hearing that Ezra Miller has apparently been fired from every single Warner Brothers thing that he's in?
Dude, it is fucking nuts. Can you imagine?
There are few better things that we could have been gifted by the universe, dude, for a 100th episode.
Like
other than Brie Larson being in Fast and Furious.
Oh my God, we didn't. Yeah, we forgot that we didn't even talking about that. That is true. She's part of the family now. But
I was like, ugh.
Fuck. Anyway, so yeah, Ezra Miller, man. So like, I have never really been like the biggest fan of Ezra Miller's Flash. Like I've just kind of accepted the fact that he was given the role of the Flash.
It was a weird choice.
It was a weird choice. It never made sense to me. And they're like, it's really funny to me that like after his original casting, years later, they've really, like, Warner Brothers has really tried to build themselves up around the Flash all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Like the Flashpoint movie is going to be shaking things up supposedly, if it even like is like on track now. Dude, I don't know.
I think that movie's never going to come out, man.
I mean, it would be a shame. Could you imagine? Because Andy Muschietti is like such a fucking good director. It would be such a shame to have wasted all that talent that's on that movie, like all that time. Like,
now it's 2023, right?
Oh my God. Yeah.
It was supposed to come out in 2018.
It's fucking nuts. I wouldn't be surprised if anything, it ends up like if they like try to distance themselves from it.
I think they're going to cut their losses and put it on HBO Max.
That's what I was going to say. It's like, I bet they put it out on streaming or something, like, because it's just too much that they've sunk into it, I imagine. But my God, dude. Like
we're like ahead of this weird, and like aside, Ezra Miller sounds like an asshole, you know.
dude, he does. Like
He gives off the vibe of like those celebrities like that are so detached from reality that they don't know like the bounds of normal interaction anymore. Like apparently like Eddie Murphy's that way. Like he's been such a superstar for so long, he doesn't know how to exist in the real world anymore. He's
just always doing different characters.
Exactly. It's like he's walking around his donkey, you know?
Yeah.
But but like he gives off like the sociopath celebrity vibe. Like closer to I don't fucking know, closer to like a Logan Paul than a The Rock, you know?
Yeah, he's a quirky Logan Paul type. Oh, perfect. Let's cast him for the Flash.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Ezra Miller in like one of those like YouTuber boxing matches in like the near future.
Yeah, he'd be crazy though. He'd be crazy. He'd be like I refuse to wear a mouth guard or something just because he wants to like he wants to show that he's fucking nuts. I don't know, like something stupid. But yeah, like he's gotten in a whole bunch of heat and like it's culminated in him getting arrested. And it's now like, to me, the thing that I'm worried about.
The restraining order was dropped, by the way. So
well
whatever.
Good on him. He got lucky. The thing that bugs me the most is that not only have they kind of really started centering their next phases of things around this Flashpoint movie, so they're gonna have to shake it up now. Like, but now
like
it's ruining.
There's enough organization in the fucking DC.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
they were already, you know, the SpongeBob meme where it's like SpongeBob in his own mind and they're throwing the papers everywhere. That's DCHQ already.
Just fucking.
And now Ezra Miller, they're like, Warner Bros. Is like, we don't want to. We're eliminating all of our future work with Ezra Miller. And they just like put a fucking flamethrower in that room now. It was already chaos, and now it's just burning to the ground.
Yeah, dude. And let's not forget, like, not only does this affect that, but like, I can't remember. Did Ezra Miller's character continue on in the Secret or the Fantastic Beasts movies?
Yeah, that affects it too, right?
Yeah, because it's the same studio.
I haven't seen, and I've heard that Fantastic Beasts 3 is a fucking nightmare.
It had like the lowest box office record for the opening of that trilogy. And I think for certain, I can't remember the statistics, but yeah, it's not doing hot, it seems like.
I actually saw something where it was like Fantastic Beasts 3 and Morbius saved cinema because they both flopped hard. It shows that people don't want soulless cash grab garbage.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it doesn't matter what you're attaching yourself to or like how you're trying to market something, people won't care.
Yeah.
Like if you make something bad.
That's a really good point. Like, people just aren't going to turn out for it. Like, they now know the value of like going to the cinema and like what it, you know, and so it's not like something that they're going to do for everything anymore.
I mean, like, we saw Fantastic Beasts. It's a Harry Potter. What should be a kingmaker? You know, you should be just able to attach something to that universe and have it kill.
Yeah.
But that's not how the world works anymore. Much like Morbius. Like, the Spider-Man shit from the trailer isn't in the movie. It's all cut.
Which is like, I remember
it's so scummy.
I can't remember who the quote came from, but I remember reading a quote from somebody attached to the Morbius, and it was like expressing that they weren't really sure why the Spider-Man stuff was in the trailer. Because
it was the director. It was completely out of his hands.
Yeah, it was just like they put it in there for the market grab, and they were like, it doesn't have anything to do with the movie, like, which is fucking crazy. But then I imagine that's something DC is going to fall into. Like, apathy sets in. Mm-hmm. If you're not really presenting anything of value, like, people are going to see straight through it. Like, the Batman Killed, it was a good movie, and like Joker did a great job, and it made a very impressive box office for a rated R film. Yeah,
I don't think, with all this negative press about Ezra Miller, all the production delays, people are aware of that shit now. I don't think The Flash is going to do well. And I mean, like, they're definitely, like, from other reports, it looks like DC is trying to clean shop and sort of revamp themselves.
Yeah. Well, like, okay, so you mentioned the Joker, and you know, before the Joker hit $1 billion, I think the only other like successful rated R comic book movie was Deadpool up until that point. And
Deadpool was the movie that it beat in terms of like rated R box office.
Yeah. And so Joker flipped the fucking script and like really like, you know, I remember at the time reading reports that like Todd Phillips, you know, sort of went to executives and pitched the idea of like something that they're doing with the comics or that they were planning on doing, kind of like this like black label where it's like, you know, rated R or like heavier story takes on characters that are outside of, you know, this overall canon that they want. And you know, like, which is what like the Joker would be, for instance,
like a Justice League Dark type, you know, or like those, or like the Apocalypse War series, the animated ones that were super gritty, super dark.
And so it's like, you know, that would be a really fucking smart idea, because, you know, one of the last episodes we talked about you know, the character of Mr. Freeze, you know, for instance, like if you pull it off right, you could make a Mr. Freeze solo movie. I like, you know, because it's a character you can emotionally manipulate like audiences to care about.
There.
Yeah. And, you know, which was why it'd be a great character for another Batman movie to choose from if they take it seriously. But, you know, like the fact that DC hasn't, or Warner Brothers hasn't tried to like, you know, follow up on an option like that up until now is crazy. But the reports, you know, like things that we've, you know, kind of been referencing are all talking about how like they're, you know, now desperately trying to figure out something that like lies between like the Joker and, you know, the Batman or something in terms of mood that will like work for, you know, new movies. And
wasn't
like
one of the reports saying that like they're looking for their Kevin Feige?
Yeah, and that's another big one. Like they're trying, like
somebody
tried that.
That's of the industry that is understanding enough, you know. Obviously, whoever they have now is not doing it well.
Yeah, they tried to rope in fucking Jeff Johns.
They got like
Jeff Johns was, you know, as in like the fucking comic book writer aficionado, right? So like
but here's my argument with that. I think that this is sort of, it can go the other way. It's like why I don't like that Kevin Feige's like the director of all things Marvel at this point, even the comics. It's a different medium. It needs a different expertise. And that's why I think Kevin Feige worked for the movies so well.
Yeah. And that's my point. That's why I think a character like Jeff Johns, who I can't speak to whether that dude's like the head of the studio or any shit like that, but I know he got heavily involved. And that's why like characters like that don't fucking work out all the time, because they don't know the industry. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And like so for it's really just funny that it's 2022. Yeah. I had to think about that for a second because we were just talking time warp, man. No, so it's, you know, it's just really funny to think that it's like this, it's, you know, gone on this long, and now they're like, okay, my God, we need to find our own Feige. Like, that's like, you didn't think about that? Like, you didn't think about that in this decade of bullshit movies that you've been giving people?
It has been 9 years since Man of Steel.
And that's the other thing. So supposedly, and I don't agree with this necessarily, but supposedly they're like having executives, you know, saying shit like characters like Superman have been sitting on the shelf and need to be shaken up again, like, you know, brought back out. And it's like, I mean, like, how do I say it? I don't disagree with a Superman franchise, but I don't think that needs to be the focus again. You know what I mean? Put Superman in a fucking background move.
Who would be a fantastic starting point for like a new version of DC? And it's like they could go for, like, I can definitely see like them going for the darker stuff. They have a successful side there.
Yeah.
But you want to make a kid-friendly MCU-ish style thing, do that Blue Beetle movie and make it fantastic. Maybe tie it in with Shazam.
So here's the thing. I mean, they are working on that Blue Beetle. Like, they're working on an HBO series for Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
And it's geared more towards, it has the kid from Cobra Kai.
Yeah. Good casting.
Yeah, good casting. But you know, you're right, where they need to take some of their
from that B-list, you know?
Yeah. And it's like, you know, some of these characters are fucking well regarded. Like you mentioned the Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, there's like a special place in some people's hearts for Ted Kord. You know, they're like same thing with you know, the Green Lantern Guy Gardner. You know, you do a movie with those two because those two are like a fucking pair. You do a Blue Beetle Booster Gold fucking movie. You're probably gonna put families in the seats of that fucking movie.
Yeah, it would.
You know what I mean?
We've seen like Marvel sold Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Hard sell. The trailers were kick ass. You make a great promotional marketing campaign for this. Make it some deep cuts because then that's internet marketing. People are going to be like, what's this YouTube video?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know, it's like you can sort of play off of how like deep this industry goes.
Yeah. Well, you know, they do have a couple of movies, you know, that will be interesting to try to make, I think, linchpins moving forward.
You know, it will be a great, and this was a TV show from when I was a kid. Do a Static Shock series.
Oh yeah, Static Shock, dude.
Holy shit. I forgot. I was thinking, I was like, is Static Shock a DC character? And he is.
Yeah. So check this. So that character got really popular off of that animated series.
It was really good.
And I think he's only included in like a handful of things, like comic book wise.
Yeah.
Like it's like from an alternate, you know, Earth or whatever. But you know, like, okay, so you know, like characters like that, like characters like you know, they fucking ruined the opportunity, I think, for a little while. But Black Lightning, the CW did a Black Lightning show that like was cool at first. You really established this some interesting characters, like all CW shows, and then it just slowly becomes like more bullshit and more like
what they did to the Flash.
Yeah, more cheese. But like characters like that would be really awesome if you did like a grounded take on them in like, you know, in the DC universe. Like, and even like it's totally fine for them to have the flexibility to target different audiences.
Yeah, I think DC might find more success not going for this cohesive thing that Marvel's done.
No, I don't.
Tell some more isolated stories. You know, like maybe have very specific sects of the universe come together.
Have the balls to do a fucking like Blade Runner-esque Batman Beyond movie.
Oh, dude.
And you will fucking make $1 billion. Like,
you know, actually, there's a very cool like Elseworld series going on right now called so did you hear about the White Knight a few years ago?
Yeah.
It was where the Joker like sort of was in the Bruce Wayne position. Like he was this mogul in Gotham. And he had like a normal like strongman facade.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't outwardly a lunatic, and people like loved him for like shaking everything up.
Yeah.
Him and Harley Quinn were essentially politicians. They're doing the White Knight Beyond now.
Nice.
And Terry McGinnis is in it. The art is fucking cool.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
It's like there's so many options. And I think DC, it just like they shouldn't go and shake up Superman. Everyone knows Superman.
Yeah.
The only the best thing that I can say they've done so far is the first Wonder Woman movie. Is a good movie. And Shazam. And like we hadn't seen a live action Wonder Woman in decades before that, except for the fucking brief TV show appearance in like Smallville. But
yeah, that's true.
Do you get what I mean? It's like we have Shazam was a fantastic film. It's like Aquaman did really well at the box office. People don't hate it. It seems like it knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then the Batman was a success because it's an incredible film.
Yeah.
But like maybe start diving a bit deeper than just these surface level options.
No, it's the truth. And like, you know, one of the best things that they've done with Superman in recent time has been the cameo in Shazam, you know, and and that's what I mean, where it's like, what they need to do is they need to establish these individual stories and pieces, and they need to like put cameos in of like, you know, I don't know, just like, you know, in fucking Gotham City, you see like a streak of blue and red going across the sky at one point in the movie. Yeah. And so you're like, okay, Superman's fucking flying by. And so you know that these characters are out there. And then once in a while, you pull the big names together to do a big name, you know, collaboration movie. And then you continue to build like these individual pieces of like you said, like auxiliary or, you know, B-list kind of as characters.
Yeah.
Like it'd be awesome to see a fucking Black Canary movie.
Oh,
like
it'd be killer.
Yeah. Like, you know, shit like that. Like,
you know, I think And it's stuff like this. I think DC is way too reactive.
Mm.
I think like if Doctor Strange kills, we'll see a Constantine movie like a greenlit.
Yeah. Well, there's a Constantine
greenlit.
series that has been like kind of being, again, they're really like, it seems like they're developing a lot of these like HBO series, and Constantine's one of them. And like lately you're starting to see it's all planned. The closer we get to Doctor Strange, you're starting to see these like little leaks online of like, oh, this might be part of the Constantine script for the show, and like blah blah blah. And it's like, so they're generating interest around the idea. And
it's like I think but in that sense I think they're too reactive, and it's these little drops of like info. They think Marvel's done really well, much like praise Feige, but I mean like the dude's done a fucking incredible job of creating that cohesion. I mean, I guess we can just sort of dive into Marvel from here. Before we get to Moon Knight, I want to say, did you see that David Harbour is doing press for Doctor Strange?
I did see that, and it's leaving everybody's like head scratching. It seems like,
I know, is Red Guardian in it? What?
Well, I mean, like a cameo wouldn't be a side to some degree. I don't think he'd be like
I would love to
major
see
player, but
him like fall into a universe that's like Superman, Red Sun, but in like the Marvel universe where Red Guardian's running the show and like Captain America's long dead.
Yeah, that'd be wild. It's like a secret empire, but Red Guardian.
Yeah, that'd be funny. I think that'd be great.
Then that's what I like. That's why it's a brilliant move, is because David Harbour is a charismatic individual. For one, his character was really charismatic in the movie, and and so like to include some sort of bit with him would be like I think a really clever like nod and rope some more popularity
in the same way as like in What If, the Watcher's getting punched by Ultron through all these universes and they land in one and Captain America's in the background getting sworn in as president. It's like that. It's the little things,
Exactly. I think and this is the beautiful position Marvel's in now, is that a fan can truly say, I don't know. And really have like that being the honest truth. Like anything seems to be on the table. No, anything seems to be on the table, and trust is earned. Trust has been earned, and so it's like I'm willing to see what the fuck they do.
I think like looking ahead to Doctor Strange, there's so much that can happen. I think Marvel has done their due diligence in building, and now people are just on board. And eventually DC will be able to get to that if they make good shit. Where people will be like, I don't have a second thought when I see like a Marvel thing. I'm at least going to check it out.
Yeah, exactly. And with like, well, it's even with like the hype sometimes. Like sometimes you get so much more, you focus so much more on some of the hype for like these Marvel movies because of that head scratcher. And like, with DC, it's just not the same, like, because everything's so drawn out and not,
but I think
the timelines are always shifting, it seems like. And
there's a place for disconnection. There's a place for like saying this is its own thing, or being like, this is its own corner. We're not going to really reference stuff.
But I think
I think that's where like Moon Knight fits into this. Is like it's not super referential to the greater MCU.
No,
but will it bolster that universe? Absolutely, because of that separation. It's a whole different angle.
The guy that does Comics Explain, I follow the old Heart account, follows YouTuber. Him, and he posted this thing that I totally agree with. He said Moon Knight would probably really benefit from referencing the giant celestial head and hand popping out of the ocean.
That's like the one thing in the MCU that I feel like they're starting to do the comic thing where like crazy shit happens and like the civilians are like, oh well,
the world moves on.
We've seen crazier shit. Half the people just came back.
It is kind of interesting.
There's a hand popping out of the Indian Ocean. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, but I want to say one last little like jab at DC. I don't care. Like you won't have my solid like dedication until I read an article like I did today about somebody who went and saw Spider-Man in the theater, the same theater, 292 times to break the Guinness Book of World Record.
No.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
until somebody does
man.
that for like Black Adam or something like that, that you guys have been hyping about for fucking 5 years.
What you mean is the Man in Black.
The Man, oh my god, dude, that's what I mean. They're even like fucking that up, like where it's like, dude, you don't have to like make it edgier, like you do.
No, it's already edgy enough.
Oh my god,
Black Adam is already a bit of an angsty character.
It's so fucking true.
But speaking of Moon Knight and a bit of angst,
exactly.
So I think me and Kate want to dive into Moon Knight on the spinoff Matinee Edition podcast. Amateur's note, go ahead and listen to the second episode out now with Matinee Edition. But we want to dive into we'll probably end up diving into the narrative on that. But in general, this third episode was pretty fucking weak in my mind. It felt like a lot of stuff got left on the cutting room floor, and it felt jittery because of that. Like it was in a rush.
Yeah, there's some really
there's some cool shit.
There's some really impressive moments, like the turning back of the sky.
Cool moment.
The meeting of the fucking avatars of the gods, like
also cool.
But like
it just felt like it happened a bit too fast.
For all the hype that Moon Knight had garnered, it's not fully paying off yet.
Yeah.
And that's like the weirdest thing to me. Like I really, really, really want to like Moon Knight, but so far I'm struggling with it. Like I'm like the CGI is like, all right. I don't like the characters, like the version of the character that they're presenting as Mr. Knight. I
think it makes sense.
I do,
but
they're trying. They're trying
different.
like everything. They're trying to like replicate that, like, like funny edge. They're basically just trying to create like a Ryan Reynolds character there, and like that makes sense because it sells. And like
Deadpool.
Yeah, and the story gets kind of rushed as I think you're like along the way, and
I think the best bits though are when Mark and Steven are playing off of each other. That back and forth I find entertaining a lot of times. Like specifically,
I find it obnoxious after a while. Like
I think it can wear thin.
I think I probably like Eddie Brock and Venom better than I like that. To be honest, like
I don't know. I feel like it depends. Both can wear thin in different ways, but like the bit where they're in the middle of the fight at the end of the third episode, and Steven forces his way out and is like, "Everyone, just calm down," and gets impaled. And he's like, "Come back out, Mark. Come back out." I think that's funny.
It yeah. I mean, it is. It's like it's funny, but I'm also like, how do I say it? I don't like the idea of making this dude's mental disorder too comical. You know what I mean? Like
I get that. I completely understand.
Like, because I think that's kind of not how reality is for most people.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, this is a superhero movie, but if Marvel's the big company that's representing everybody, then like I think they should be showing up for that.
I think they can get away with it because of the ridiculousness of the setup.
Because the dude's wearing a fucking magical Egyptian suit to begin with, so it's not like anything.
And he's
relevant.
Possessed by a god.
Yeah.
So it's like his mind's broken because of that.
Yeah.
Like it'd be different if they tried to diagnose him, Yeah. But I think they're just gonna end up being like his mind fractured when he got possessed.
Well, but that's the thing. I mean, in the series and even in this episode, they reference that Khonshu chose him because his mind was fucked up, so it'd be easier for him to manipulate,
which is ridiculous. I think it makes sense because Khonshu has been shown to not always be a good guy in the comics.
Yeah,
he has sort of his own motives, and he sometimes is completely willing to fuck over the Avengers to get ahead.
Yeah, Khonshu is like the most at this moment, like one of the most interesting elements of the show right now.
Absolutely,
because you don't know. I mean, like the end of this episode, there seems to be this like almost like self-sacrifice, made by the god, and so and it seems like almost out of character. So you're like, what's this dude really getting out of this?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think going into the next few episodes, I'd be willing to forgive this episode being mediocre. We're in the ascending action. We're in, I expect I expect this, and this sort of is the thing with episodic series versus movies, especially a limited series like Moon Knight. We're in Act 2 still, and that can lend to some unsatisfying story moments or ways of where the story sort of falls off. I expect Act 3 to start at the end of the next episode, because then there's 2 to go.
Fair
and
enough.
I think how they land Moon Knight in the end will determine how I end up feeling about the series overall. In the same way as like I feel like WandaVision fizzled out in the end, and that's why Loki is still my favorite in the MCU, like the MCU shows.
Yeah. Well, Loki, because Loki had like just like
it had a good ending to season 1, in my opinion. I feel like Wanda sort of just like didn't really land it.
Yeah, it was kind of like almost like the expected ending with WandaVision, you know, and that's really what, like, you know, I don't know, like I still like I said, like I really want to like the series. I'm looking forward to watching the rest of it as it comes out every week. But there are some really like cool like elements of this, like, you know, all the way down to like little details. Like in the first episode, you see Ethan Hawke's character crushing all that glass and like walking in, you know, putting in his sandals. You can still hear it every time there's like a quiet room and he's like walking. It's like little things like that make every character in this show like have a side that you just are like, I don't know if I like, I don't know. There's just something that you don't trust about anybody. Layla, Mark, like, you know, fucking Harrow, like,
I think at this point there is not enough. Like it's at this point it is so incomplete that it's difficult to pass total judgment. But
I really hope that they don't go down the road of Layla falling in love with Steven.
I think they're going to, though, which is upsetting.
Which is fucking lame.
I do want to say I have come around to your perspective on the suit. I think in theory the suit looks very good, but you can completely tell that they had no practical suit.
Yeah.
Which is why Mr. Knight, like, say what you will about their perspective and like the way they've written Mr. Knight. It's a good looking suit because it's real. The Moon Knight suit has no practical equivalent, and you can tell it doesn't engage with, like, it looks uncanny because the movements aren't completely human.
Yeah.
It's why the Spider-Man No Way Home and like Far From Home, they had a practical suit that they mapped all the CGI onto afterwards and cleaned it up. It's what they did for Black Panther in a lot of cases, except for that janky third act fight. That's why those suits look so good. It's because there was a real one that they decided to clean up in post rather than have essentially a fully CGI model fighting people.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like it just, I don't know. It just stands out too weird. And I will agree with you. I do like the costume design of the Mr. Knight character. You know what I mean? I think that they've done a really good job with that. But that main costume is just kind of like, I don't know. The more you see it,
I like the concept. I get the idea behind it. I understand the logic behind it. Yeah. But there's a lack of tactile to it, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. It just looks.
You can tell that there's nothing there when it's engaging with an environment.
Yeah. No, I agree. But you know, like I said, overall though, I think optimism is still great to apply to Moon Knight, because I do think it's going somewhere in an interesting direction. And again, it's a property of Marvel that's exploring a different side of Marvel. We're really getting into like the idea of these new gods and old gods and shit like that have been existing in the universe, you know. So, kind of cool.
You know, but there is a beauty to something ending. Oh, segues. Marvel's never going to end. It'll be with us till the day we die. But Stranger Things will end.
Oh, man.
And this is apparently the beginning of the end, man.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
What a trailer.
Holy shit.
You text me the trailer when it dropped, and you were like, holy shit. This is incredible.
Oh, dude, like I don't even need them to do any more press for this fucking movie if they just leave that trailer there. I'm there. I am like, oh my God, I cannot wait. I hope they drop all the episodes so I can fucking binge it as hard as possible. Like,
great music choice for the trailer as well.
Dude, there's so much to take in on this trailer though. So there's
a lot going on.
like you get a little more explanation as to what's up with that house, that clock, possibly,
Yeah.
all that shit, which leads to a really fucking wild character introduction at the end of this
Yeah, what I'm
trailer.
assuming is the Mind Flayer actually getting a body.
I'm pretty sure that's like our boy Robert England, all like CGI
That's
and
what I
some
thought
weird
too.
like mixture of like
No.
Swamp Thing mixed
Here's
with
the
a
thing.
Mind Flayer. Yeah.
They already confirmed it's completely practical.
What the fuck, dude? That's awesome. That's fucking. It looks
talk about
so
the moon,
good,
going
dude.
back to Moon Knight briefly.
Yeah.
You can tell it looks so good.
Yeah, dude. I'm so glad people like this is so funny because even earlier today I was talking to somebody else about how much better practical like effects are.
Yeah.
And roping you in as a fucking viewer. And like,
I mean, it's the whole thing. Like the Demogorgon was almost completely practical.
Yeah. It's
They had a
just
dude in
that
that
aesthetic,
suit.
man.
Yeah.
It. And but oh
You
my
can
God,
see
dude,
it.
like so, like that was a super cool like culminating moment in the trailer. But like you see some really interesting things. It looks like Hopper obviously is like, slaving away in Russia, perhaps like there's like an interrogation looking scene or something, what's their fucking name? The not 11, the other young lady with the orange hair.
Max
Looks like she has
powers.
Dude, like I'm interested in her storyline going into this season because like there's that
She's
shot of her like fucking levitating over the grave.
She's one
or
of those
whatever.
characters they haven't done too much with yet.
No, but she's been like a really great when they, I think it was really pivotal for the show to introduce more to that core group. You know what I mean? And so when they introduced Max, and then like kind of roped it into like a longer staying character, a longer running character. Like I thought it was a really solid move.
In the last season was really good as well.
Yeah, and that looks like it's going to play into some of the elements here. Like she's obviously mourning Billy and to a degree, and
actually going back to the Upside Down for the first time in a couple seasons.
Yo, it even shows them like looking like they're riding their fucking bikes around the Upside Down.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
I was like, dude shredding a guitar in the Upside Down. Oh my
God, that was the most
so cool.
I was like, what is happening right now?
It's like the art of making a trailer. There's sometimes you see a trailer and you're like, I don't need to watch the movie. Like this is so entertaining,
dude.
Like I think the final trailer for Infinity War did that. The one that ended with Captain America holding the gauntlet away from him.
Oh my God, yeah, that shot.
Incredible.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this movie's coming. If I die, I'll be a happy man.
Yeah.
Like, I saw that Stranger Things trailer perfectly encapsulated everything I wanted from a trailer.
Yeah,
100%, man. You got me intrigued on what's coming. I don't exactly know what's going on, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I will relish whatever the fuck happens.
Yep. And it was
like incredible.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's so hard. And like it's been said that each episode of this season is over an hour long. Hour minimum, it seemed like. So I imagine
and this is what's interesting, they're splitting up into 2 volumes.
Yeah.
So I think if I'm remembering right, it's 8 or 10 episodes, and it's going to be 4 or 5, and then 4 and 5.
Which is it's sick.
I think it's.
I want to watch a 4-hour fucking Stranger Things movie.
That month is going to suck. It's because what is it? It's May 25th because that's why they bumped Kenobi. May 24th and then July 4th.
Yeah.
So. Like, fuck, I have to get the day off. I mean, like,
dude, for real though.
Yeah, it was fun.
Like something to like build your life around the dropping of that. It
was funny. My mom, I got my mom hooked on Stranger Things. Kate got me hooked initially.
Nice.
Then I got my mom hooked. My mom and my sister hooked. Sadly, Victoria is living in Seattle now, and my mom was like, "Can you and Kate come over and watch it with me?" Because Dad doesn't care. Oh. And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's have a little Stranger Things evening."
Yeah, fuck yeah. Dude, it's a show that has like it has elements for like a very wide demographic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's one of its successes. Not only did it capture such a great nostalgic theme and like atmosphere. They built that horror right into it. They built the sci-fi intrigue right into it. The characters that you can kind of grow with and that you can attach yourselves to. And then, it's just such a good fucking show.
Not to wax poetic
Chef's
anymore on like how much love Marvel has for what they do, but you can tell in the same way that like the people who are running the MCU love the comics, you can tell that the Duffer Brothers who like came up with Stranger Things have a genuine love for the inspirations of the series.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it seeps through it. Like, say what you will. I know people have mixed feelings on season 2. I know some people have mixed feelings on season 3. It's good TV. And like, I've seen the whole like too much of a good thing argument. Fuck that. It's been 3 years. I'm down,
Yeah. Give me more.
It's been almost 4 years actually. Dude. So
and
I'm
the
excited.
Thing is, I've been looking forward to it since that last season ended. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a rare thing these days to like really get hooked that hard into a show. I think, a lot of stuff just gets thrown at you. You watch it and you're just like, yeah, that's kind of cool.
And I think the wait is going to pay off for them. There's going to be so much hype. People are going to be so excited for Stranger Things.
Yeah, it's the truth, man. Like, and then that's such a smart move, breaking up into 2 parts, because the hype will be there for the first part, and then people just be like sitting on their fucking hands waiting, trying
it might be that happy medium between the Disney Plus weekly release style and the binge watching everything at once.
Yeah.
Like, because that was the issue with Stranger Things 3, was that it immediately left the public discourse after like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That happened to like shit, That
happened to Amazon's The Boys also. Like
exactly The Boys, and then they changed the release structure in the next season.
Exactly.
I think we're definitely gonna see sort of a transition back towards like weekly media, or at least some like multiple drops type thing. Similar to how Old Heart Radio releases its podcast on weekends.
It's the truth though. Like it's I think like as much as I am down for like a good binge watch every now and then, like, you
gotta be in the mood.
Yeah. And this was something that I think, it was like, a symptom of how TV was made, that, things kind of rolled out in a certain schedule and how they did eventually. But the facts of the matter are, like, if you give people time to breathe in between, an episode, then you have like a greater conversation and a greater fascination. I don't think people lose interest. I think they just get more interested because the suspense builds all week to the next episode, like that's the whole point.
You know what? Actually, speaking of gaining, or in this case, losing interest week to week, give me the gaming minute sample. The Halo show fucking sucks. End gaming minute. It's losing people week to week. Oh my God, is it terrible? I didn't think that you could fuck up Halo. A while back there was an episode where I said Halo has the potential of Star Wars. I was completely wrong and it was out of line. It was my gamer glasses on. It was a ridiculous statement to make, but I made it with complete confidence in the moment.
And here we are.
Dude, they took, what's cool about the first Halo? The Halo ring is this super alien, fucking crazy piece of architecture. Yeah. The whole game, you're trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah.
At the end, you're like, holy shit, this thing's going to wipe out the Milky Way in the end. And you stop it. Episode 2 of Halo, a dude just tells them it's a weapon.
What?
I was like, why?
Why?
Save that till the end. That's such a good fucking cliffhanger for the end of a season.
Yeah, dude. Like, why? Like, why would you miss that? Like, how?
Episode 2, just some dude that was captured by the Covenant's like, it's a weapon.
Oh my God, man!
What a terrible idea.
Oh yeah, like really though, that's like a linchpin of the fucking game and the story. Like
it's such a good moment in the narrative. It's so cool because it's one of the strongest moments in that entire universe.
Yeah.
When Master Chief realizes that he was moments away from killing everyone.
It's a fucking joke, dude. What the hell? Like, yeah, I mean, I didn't have like high expectations, but like
Neither
I
did
really
I.
was just hoping. I was like in the back of my mind really hoping that they did pull off something cool. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's like DC all over again. I'm having DC flashbacks.
Oh,
Come on, you can do it.
Apparently,
you can do
apparently
it. No,
Sonic
you can't.
2 is really good though. So yeah,
I did. Yeah, I've heard Sonic 2. Sonic 2 is like the most successful video game movie release of all time or something like
I
that.
think me and Kate are definitely going to do an Amateurs Note episode on video game movies, and we'll have to watch like Detective Pikachu and the Sonic films.
Yeah, those two would be really good ones to look at, I think.
Maybe
Detective
we'll watch...
Pikachu is fucking solid, man, if you ask me.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, you've never seen it? I thought you did.
I'm a total Pokemon guy, but I've never seen Detective Pikachu.
I thought it was solid for what it was, if I'm recalling.
That's what I've heard. It's like it knows exactly what it is.
Yeah. Then that's what I liked about it. I was like, this feels comfortable, you know?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Kate has seen it, and she said like apparently there's a scene with like a bunch of Greninja like stalking them, and she watched it with like a bunch of kids at like a summer camp that she is volunteering at. Okay. And I guess they were fucking terrified.
Oh shit. Damn, dude. Well, hey, I mean, horror is there for everybody, I suppose.
You know,
oh man,
is this a good place to end episode 100?
I think it is. I think this has been a really fun episode. We've gotten to cover some really like pivotal things for our show this week, which is kind of just happenstance, you know, like these are all like really like formative interests. We even mentioned Fast and Furious in this episode. So, yeah.
God damn.
So we've really tied it back to the roots.
Still around the Fast and Furious episodes?
They are. They're like some of the first episodes there. So they would be like,
listeners, go back and find them for really mediocre audio quality. And us talking for 20 to 45 minutes about Fast and Furious at a time.
You got to look up if you're interested. Corn dogs, those are got to be like Matinee Edition, like at the very top. Like probably like look through like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think
they're somewhere in there.
Maybe Infinity War, like we're right around there.
And we were going hard on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. near the beginning too.
Oh God, we had an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. segment.
Yeah, it's a whole dedication. Dude.
Those are the days.
If only we can get Agent Coulson to shout us out somehow. Like that'd be dope.
Dude, that'd be awesome. Dope. We should see if we can get him on the show. Local yokels.
Yeah.
Locals only.
Oh my God. All right. Well, on that note, honestly, genuinely, my friend, I really appreciate you and like, you know, us doing this every week. It's something that I get to look forward to, whether it's, you know, in person or, you know, over Zoom. I'll take what I can get.
Hey, I will say these past couple years have been weird. They've been fucking crazy. It has been even via Zoom, that like year we did podcasts via Zoom was a great time. It was something to look forward to during a very dreary time. Hopefully the listeners looked forward to seeing an episode every once in a while.
I think they keep coming back for them. So, you know, we'll say this. Here's 100 and here's to a fucking 100 more, man.
Amen.
Hell yeah.
Well, we got to plug everything though. Can't forget.
Good point.
Corporate old heart. Saying we're not plugging enough. Matinee Edition weekly. Thanks for listening, folks. Under further review, anger leads to hate. Very funny episode. Go check it out. It's already out by the time this will have been released. Part 2 will come next week. Amateurs Note, me and Kate doing a little show. This episode is all about being like diving into a narrative as an audience, and how immersive that can be, or how terrible it can be. And then what else we got? We got Whack Arnold's. What was Whack Arnold's this week?
This week's episode, Whack Arnold's was like in 1970, I want to say 76 movie called Eaten Alive. It's about a giant crocodile and a really fucking weird dude in some backwoods of a hotel. Next week for Whack Arnold's, we got Halloween 3 coming up, Season of the Witch. So that's kind of a classic. So
there you go.
Yeah, and then we got, you know, we'll just keep churning that butter. We'll you can find all posts and like related information on some of the socials, you know, Instagram, Old Heart Radio.
Oh yeah, that's the main artery right there.
Exactly. And you can find all these on, you know, all these pods on you know, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, you know, they're out there for you. I guess so are we.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere. We're watching you.
The internet is powerful.
And on that note, we'll wrap Matinee Edition 100.